her dimensions, it fits for that division. And you look at, again, we talked about Andrea, hers fits for her division. It's about the process, and it's about what works for you in your training. Like when you're training, what's the your favorite workout, and that workout you say, shit, I don't want to do it.
The one that I struggle with the most is my hamstring session. So at the minute I do 2 pull sessions a week, 2 push and 2 legs. So one's will be a quad focus, one will be a hamstring focused. The hamstrings I've been struggling with, like just finding what works for me to make them grow. So again, I had a session with Lewis Breed, and we've tweaked it. I think I'm really excited. I've got hamstrings tomorrow, so I'm really excited to go back and do the plan that we've done with him, because like I said, Amanda and I have done a plan, but I just didn't gel with it. Sessions that I love is pull sessions. I love training back. I love training shoulders, which are on my push days. And I get so nervous for my quad focus sessions, but like a good nervousness, because I just want to go in and I really want to get like big quads and get that sweep. So I love all of my sessions. I'm in my absolute element. And if I can now this hamstring session to grow my hamstrings, then I will be ecstatic.
Well, yeah, you're very impressive. One thing I'm very impressed with you have crazy gyration in your glutes, especially when you're conditioned. Yeah, the back is pretty good. I mean, overall, you have a very impressive physique, especially for a lady of 47 years old. I mean,
Thank you.
ma'am, again, I'm a Southern gentleman. You don't need to thank me. Yeah, it's my honor to tell a lady she's lovely. And, and and my other guy says, I don't ever have a plan. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I never know if I get one. And that's the thing about this. It's always understanding your weakness and your strengths, make those improvements, and taking that whole year off. Because like I said, again, bodybuilding's not going anywhere anytime soon. There's quite a few shows, especially overseas. Also, there's the shows here in the States. There's one show is coming up. I think it's going to be in a month or so. That is the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. They do have a pro qualifier. Just need enough competitors. There's also a show in Chicago. It's called the Miss International. It's also a worldwide competition. You can do women's bodybuilding. Just need enough ladies compete and get your pro card. Then you can make your pro debut at Chicago, also Chicago Pro. And there's also not Tampa, the Amateur Olympia. That's also a worldwide show. I will say like this, you have great potential. I think here in the States, I think you would do well. But I know it's the cost of traveling here to there and then and that. It's easy to try to maybe find a show right in New York. Like I know Claudia mentioned the Romanian Muscle Fest. That's at the end of this year. Maybe you can do it for next year, or be a show you can start and maybe see how you look in front of the judges, whichever film.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Giving me a year off, it gives me a year to build up some more funds to then potentially we could hit America. So Amanda has spoken about it as well in going to sort of the States. So like I said, I'm happily guided by her and what she thinks. She's been to so many competitions and sort of knows what the judges are looking for in the different competitions. So I'll be sort of guided by whatever she says. And like I said, I'm just happy to step back on stage and be in the thick of it again. So we'll take this year off, get some size on, and then plan out for 2027.
Yeah. And also, everybody out there, if sponsorship does help. It does help cover the costs of everything from their entry fees to travel fees to food, room, and board. If you're so interested in sponsoring someone like Laura, have a plan. Make sure it's genuine. Don't be that weird guy. Say, hey, Laura, I saw your last couple of shows. I saw you. Yes, nice. You know what? I know you're a mini brick, but I got a mini brick for you. That's no, stop that, you sick freak. Stop that. This is where you approach a lady like this. You say, ma'am, Miss Morley, you have a particular talent about yourself, being a coach, being a trainer, being a mother, being a grandmom. We respect you as a competitor. So if you're interested in, if you talk with your coach, we have a product that might help you, and also maybe get you as a brand ambassador for a company. So ma'am, if you feel like this is something that can help in your process and you feel like this is something that we can have a good relationship, a good back and forth, let us know. We're happy to help you see you grow as an athlete.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think because sponsorship does help because, and I think it's always about social media. You have to be very active on social media. Also people need to understand that you do this because it's a sport that you love.
Yeah, 100%.
And then I think there's so much risk, but not as much reward. I wish it was more like a mainstream sport where okay, you can make a living off of it. We don't have to work as much like anybody else. You can just do competitions. You get paid for it. But again, because bodybuilding is such an extreme sport, it's always going to be the issue of a issue of people using steroids. And, but there's more steroid use in mainstream sports from football, the basketball, the boxing. I do content MMA, and I've seen MMA fighters who get busted for using performance enhancers because bodybuilding is so extreme. It's always gonna get that finger pointed at you.
Yeah.
And again, especially for y'all ladies, me ladies have done interviews in the MMA and combat sports situation because they don't get as much promotion compared to the men.
To the men, yeah. No, it's 100%. It's not equal in the sport yet, and we're not equal amongst other sports, like you say. There's PDs in every single sport when you compete at a high level. It's just not as well known, and no one sort of says anything. But like you say as well, George, it's not equal between the men and the women, and sort of the promotion that everyone gets. But that's why we're grateful to people like you putting it out there. And as we go through, like every woman that competes at amateur and pro, when they get into, they are passionate about it, especially like you say, being more heavily muscled. There is a lot of work behind it to get to the level that we want to get to, whether we stay in an amateur division or we go into the pro league. So we have to be passionate about it. So just getting sort of the word out there will hopefully promote the sport and get more people into these heavier muscle categories.
Yeah, and most definitely, I think as an athlete, as you grow, like right now, there's a new division coming up. Excuse me, it's called Fit Model. I understand the purpose of it. I get the purpose of it to be to get more attention and get more people into it. But again, it's another division that's going to end up looking like the division you're supposed to replace it. Like look at women's physique, how women in physique now look like women's bodybuilding. You see women in figure should be doing physique. I know your coach has seen some girls backstage that say, "Hey, you're in the wrong division. You're too, I mean, just, you know what I mean? But again, this is about finding what works for you in your process as you grow and develop as an athlete.
Yeah, no, it is 100%. It is just sort of staying in your lane, knowing what you want to do in your own head, and then going with that, and then just talking to people, getting it out there, and getting the judges' feedback. And I know with some of the judges, they wanted me less conditioned, but for me, I want to bring that condition. I want to bring that graininess. That's me. If I was any less conditioned, I haven't done enough. I haven't done enough in terms of sort of getting the fat off. So it is a case of knowing what you want and what you're happy with. And again, working with your coach and making sure that you've got that really good relationship with your coach, and then just loving every stage of it, not worrying about the weight gain when you're in the off season, and going in and loving your training, just loving every stage of it, because you're putting so much into it. Like you say, one is cost financially, but also it takes over your life. It has to be integrated into your life for you to then keep going with it. So you've got to love it.
Yeah, that's thing. We have here PJ coming through. He says hi PJ. He says this also. Hi. He says have to ask what is the goal weight this off season.
We don't really have a goal weight. Like I say, last off season I got to 75.5 kilos. I'm only just 5 foot, so I'm quite short and sort of dinky. I'm at 64 now, so I'm sort of 10 kilos over my lowest weight that I was during prep. So we're just going to keep going. I'm in such a better condition wise. I mean, I've still got sort of veins in my legs when I train. I'm still quite conditioned, so food's going in really well, digestion's really good, so we'll just sort of keep going. But you don't have to sort of pile the food on, as much. My thing is that I do too much output, so my steps are quite high, so we're trying to bring down my output to create that surplus to use in my training, and then we can start to increase food again. So we're just going to take it in stages, but we don't really have, I'd like to get, if I could get to sort of 75 kilos but be a totally different shape to what I was in those photos where it was quite a lot of fat. We had to bring off 20 kilos. Then I'd be happy. But we're just going to play it by ear. Like I say, take the time. I'm going to take this year off so we don't have to really push up and then bring it all off and lose that muscle. I want to put on muscle that then stays there. So we'll see, PJ.
Yeah, she wants that because, like I say, for us in America, we don't do kilos, we do pounds, Americans. So she's like about 150 to 160. That's the size she want to get to. That's what she wants to put on. And that's the thing. You want that nice fullness in your muscles. You want that great pop. You want that vascular, you want the veins. You want that, the overall look for your division to be with bodybuilding, with physique. And also, it takes that time because, again, a lot of people want things quick, fast, in a hurry. But you want to take that time because you don't want to make mistakes. You want to be patient.
Yeah, well, we don't want food to go too high, then digestion's impacted, then we've got to pull food back, or we get sort of too overweight, so then we've got to pull back again. If I could just keep going in this off season at a really nice pace, keep building muscle rather than having to sort of put weight on, pull it off, put it on, pull it off. So we're just going to sort of play the long game and the intelligent game and just creep up slowly. So, so I'm 10 kilos above my lowest weight now. So we've put on a good amount of sort of solid, but it's not fat. So that's the way that I want to keep playing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to be very mindful of what you're doing because this is just simply just eating this and putting on this and lifting weights. It's always certain things you need to do, things you need to put in, things you might need to take out. And then you don't want to flatten yourself out and then come in and, you know what, I might have missed something. Now, we get here from a man, PJ. He says, sorry, give me a second. He says, wow, 35 kilos is a lot for your height. Congrats. Thank you, brother. So especially, being that you're a smaller woman, you gotta eat a lot more. And especially as you know, this is a thing for me as a fat man. I often go to this, like, after your last show, Laura, share with me, what was that thing that you desired the most, that thing that you wanted, especially on that long prep, dried chicken and quinoa and broccoli. You wanted, what was that thing that you wanted? What was that thing, as my other half would say, it make you stranger, I make you stronger.
Well, I know I'm going to disappoint you. I'm going to disappoint you, George, both of you, because I was in Milan and literally after post show, I didn't eat anything. I think the thing is that because when we lead up to the show, we're peaking, my calories are really high. So I'm eating a lot of like cream of rice, nut butter. So afterwards, it's not as if I'm hungry. So there's not, and because in my mind, there's so much that I still want to achieve, I didn't. So I finished my last show mid-November, and I didn't have sort of an off-plan meal until Christmas Day. So I just stayed on my same food. My digestion was not great afterwards because we'd done so many shows and we'd done so many peaks. So I just stayed at my diet. We even pulled back food, so I was eating less carbs just to get that digestion back firing. And then it was sort of around Christmas time that I had an off-plan meal, which was an Indian takeaway with my kids. So it was, but there was nothing really because, like I say, my food was high. We came in quite early, so we just cruised into each show, and I was eating sort of a lot of calories. There was nothing really that I fancied. And I do like all my food. I'm a bit boring, so I like my cream of rice and my chicken and rice and nut butter and dark chocolate. So I'm a happy girl.
Well, that's understandable because everybody has different, especially after the show. Lucky, I think your coach gets you, as we call it, a refeed or a cheat meal during your process. That helps you, especially in Italy. You're in Milan, Italy, where I think the food overseas compared to us in America, we do a lot of processed stuff. It's very clean and natural. I remember I interviewed a couple of ladies that did the Masters Olympia in Japan and said that one lady, she has issues because she has her name is Cheryl Mears, and she has a colostomy bag because she was going through something some time ago. And she was eating some ice cream. She loved it. She went back and got some more because the food there was so clean. It wasn't as processed. And that's the thing with some countries, especially outside of the United States, it's just something different. Because you can eat something there. Here, We have a lot of fatty foods. One of my favorites it's Chinese food. I was like a couple of weeks ago. I was out and about, and I stopped by this restaurant I hadn't been to in a long time, and it was just good because they do a buffet. I'm a
Mhm.
fat man. I try to be smart. I do try to be smart. I had some, tried broccoli and a little bit like that. But then, like I said again, if you call me man, be calling my name because food is both it's both a tool and a weapon in the process for a bodybuilder.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's that mindset. I've when I was overweight, I did have problems with sort of binge eating and overeating. I'd really restrict and then I'd binge eat. So I've been through all of that, and I had a really poor relationship with food. And again, I thank bodybuilding and attribute bodybuilding to getting my relationship with food back on track, because now I enjoy food. I enjoy the food I eat. I enjoy food when I go out with my kids and we go out for good food. We cook a lot from home, so if we want to make sort of a burger and chips, we most of the time we'll make it homemade. We'll make a pizza and we'll make it homemade, but we'll also go out to restaurants. Like I say, my son's just qualified as a chef, so he enjoys good food as well. But I've got such a good relationship with food now. Obviously, when you're in prep again, you get in your head sort of you come out. But I'm now 9 weeks post show. I didn't binge after. I didn't feel the need to. But then once my digestion was good, I had some good food and I looked forward to it. So again, another thing I thank bodybuilding for is for repairing my relationship with food and not thinking that I've got to go and raid the cupboards and